Okay, good. All right, people. We're live. Sorry for that. We're starting about 45 minutes late because of technical difficulties. I think everybody's having technical difficulties. Everybody's online. That means
Right?
the U.S. need a bigger bandwidth or something. That's what that means. So what's up, people? We're on the last full week coming up of April, people. Can you believe that? It's the last full week of April. We're going into May. Be my birthday. So have you gotten you know what we're here to talk about? Everybody's up in the arms about the stimulus money, the coronavirus check, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Did you get anything yet?
Yeah, I will get full disclosure. I have. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Probably because how I do taxes, I haven't yet. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I am. Doesn't matter.
Tell you the truth, I really didn't know if I was going to, but because my income, go figure, IRS says because part of it was because when Amel stopped going to school full time and started working, and she claimed her, she started working full time.
Right.
She was she was able to generate some income, so she wanted to claim herself, so I let her do that. So the IRS says, well, you went up, your income went up then. So I didn't get the refund I thought I was going to get. I mean, I knew it was going to be lower, but I didn't realize it was going to be that low. But because it would have figured that I would have owed this year, but with the benefit of some business write-offs, I was able to curtail that to a refund, but it was not nearly the refund that I've gotten in the past.
Well, that's the whole purpose of this tonight's if you see me looking down, I'm trying to share this web information out to some groups that I belong to. And that's the whole purpose of this talk tonight, as what you just said. You know, a lot of people are gonna go on here, oh, $1,200 check. I'm gonna buy this, I'm gonna buy that. Contrary to what Lindsey Graham said to everybody, that they're not going to tax your taxes the next 2021 or 2020, don't believe that shit. Okay, do not believe that. I don't believe nothing what the people from the government tell you, not especially not from this administration. If they don't hit you on your taxes next year for 2020, I guarantee you they'll raise taxes. They're gonna get that money back some way. And that's what we're gonna talk about. But I created some slides because I'm gonna give some people some history that most people probably don't know, haven't figured out, on why this is the case and why money's been used against the working class since time immemorial. A lot of people don't understand this. They think because they get this extra money, it's free money. Ain't no money free, people.
No, sir.
Unless you know how to use it the right way, and most people are not going to use the stimulus tax the right way because, and it's bad to say it, Black folks, we're the biggest consumers in the world, and that's what we're going to. Granted, some of y'all may need to use it to buy food or whatever, okay? I'm not knocking that. What I'm knocking is that if you're not in that spot, they're talking about the people who are going to get this money are folks that are making less than 100,000, I guess, or so a year.
Right.
Okay. And I understand that, but we're in a really kind of crazy times, right? But we're also in times of opportunity, what most people are not going to look at, because a lot of people are looking at immediate gratification, immediate what they need, whatever that is that they need, or they need to spend the money on. But $1,200 really ain't a lot of money. That's some people's rent in some big cities. Not too many, because most big cities, you can't get a good, decent apartment in New York and Manhattan for no $1,200. Not even in the boroughs. Okay, so that $1,200 don't really mean a lot. It's not gonna make anybody rich. It's not gonna set anybody off financially. They help a lot. And this is one of the reasons why I'm doing this presentation about that basic thing, because it's not a lot of money. It's just really not. $1,200 ago like that, we spent $600 on some stuff already. So it's just, you gotta take it for what it is. And I know people, $1,200. Now they're talking about trying to pass a thing on, what is it, $2,000 for the next 6 months to everybody?
Yeah.
I heard. And then the Trump administration paid some of the millionaires 1.7. I saw.
Yeah,
Or they pay everybody else $1,200.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
Well, you gotta understand something. This is what we're gonna talk about. Let me go see this slide.
All right.
Okay. Come on. Okay. My internet's not running very well. I can show you that right now. Okay, what's going on here, people? Damn. Okay. What smart thing to do with your $1,200 stimulus money? Okay. And that's what we're talking about. Most of us are big consumers. Bad to say it, black and brown, and especially black community, we're the biggest consumers in the world. Okay. My cousin talk about going getting a new car. Okay, he may need that, but that's a depreciating item. You get a car, okay? I mean, $1,200 is not a lot, but right now we're in a time period where a lot of stocks are under $49 a share. Okay, I'm gonna give you some information about that, but that's where we need to be looking at where to move that money so you won't get taxed high. I'm telling people, you're gonna get taxed on this money. Okay, don't believe nothing these people say. Okay, taxes. The tax law gives an edge above the working class. What I'm saying that is that the working class don't have the availability to do what the wealthy do with taxes, because it's the way the working class make their money. Okay, let's put it in simple terms. W-2 workers, self-employed, 1099-R folks, that means you're retirees, you guys pay the highest taxes above everybody else. Okay, employees, like I said, employees and retirees pay the highest tax above everybody else. I know it don't sound fair, but it's because of how these laws are written. Okay, here's a diagram. I know you're familiar with this, Kent. See this?
Yes.
Okay, you familiar with this? This comes from, if anybody's read Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant, he divided up into 4 areas on how people make money. Okay, you either work for somebody, you have a job which has no leverage. You either own a job, which is a self-employed, which is no leverage. Okay, this is where most of the people on this side of the quadrant get taxed the highest. okay? The least taxed are the people that are on this side of the quadrant. 1% times 100 equals income. 1%, 100 times 1 equals income, but you plus a job, because how you make your money is why you get taxed in the same way here. You just because you're self-employed, that means you have a business. You just self-employed. You just bought another job that you don't have to answer to a boss, but the buck stops with you. I understand there's a difference between being self-employed and actually really having a business that runs itself. When you own a business, you own a system, and either a system or people that work for you. That's the criteria of abundance ownership. As you know, we've bought into a system in our business that we leverage to help it work our businesses without having to pay payroll, okay? That's supposed to be the same concept in network marketing, but it really, all it is in network marketing, you're a sales rep, but that's another conversation, okay? Right here, this is where the big money is made. But there comes some financial education that we do not get in school, okay? And we're gonna go to this next slide. I guess this next slide we'll talk about that. The investors make money work for them. Passive income, you hear people talk pipeline income, passive income, mailbox income. Let's use a scenario. People that are, what's that show that just went off the air? Been on for 11 years. Well, let's use the Bill Cosby show. Bill Cosby, those guys that have been on Bill Cosby, besides all the scenario that happened, they were still getting checked because they usually TV shows have to run 3 to 4 seasons or more to start getting that residual income thing. Right. So they get to choose what they want to work in and what they don't. And if you in more than one show, you can do that. Like, okay, I read that the people that were on Friends, all those guys have made $20 million from residual income from that show. How long that show's been off? It's been off a while. They still getting paid because of the reruns. No matter where it's being shown, they're getting a check, okay? That's the same concept of this, but it's also knowing how money works or how to work money for you in investing, okay? See, that's what I'm saying. Most of us work over here, okay? So we get taxed the highest. To get out of that tax game, to get 1099s or whatever, get out of the 22s, you got to be over here to get away from that tax game, okay? So the 1% use a system. Like I said, people meaning employees to work for them, and they invest. If you read Robert Kiyosaki's book, Cash Flow Quadrant, or you read Paul Zane Pilsner's and Next Millionaire, they talk about what millionaires concentrate on. See, we're taught to go get a job. Job is not an asset. The rich are taught to build assets to kick off this passive income, cash flow. That's the difference between the working class and the wealthy, the 1%. Okay? Let's look at something. Let me move this over here. Here's the problem with most. It's how most of us are educated, like I said. Not about money, but to be obedient and compliant to an educational system that enslaves us. People don't understand this. In 1903, Rockefeller Foundation, headed by John D. Rockefeller, created the General Education Board. Okay, that's from the Rockefeller Foundation. The Rockefellers were greatly influenced by an educational system designed by Koreans. This system was designed primarily to produce good employees, good soldiers. They wanted dutiful people to be fired. Okay? Whether this was the intent of the Rockefellers today, with secure job, good education, but the feeling of financial ignorance or insecurity, without a basic financial education long-term, financial security is nearly impossible for most, okay? They don't teach us in school. When did you know anything in school that they stress financial education? When most people finish college, you finish the required curriculum. Even when people are in economics, they don't teach you a lot of stuff. My dad was an economics major. Okay. Now, wondering how all this affects you. There are 4 things that keep the working class broke and struggling: taxes, debt, inflation, and retirement. Okay, let's look at this. Taxes. Oh, go back. Right. Going back. Oh, wait a minute now. Hit the wrong thing. Okay, let's go back here. Sorry about that, people. Hit the wrong thing. Okay.
Okay.
Trying to move this out of the way so I get out. Okay. Taxes in America. Taxes in America was tax-free in the early days. By 1862, the first income tax was levied to pay the Civil War. In 1895, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that an income tax was unconstitutional. In 1913, okay, the Federal Reserve System was created, and the Sixth Amendment was passed, making income tax permanent. Okay, so when we started around this country during slavery, there wasn't no damn income tax for people, folks. Okay, the reason for the reinstatement of the income tax was to capitalize on the U.S. Treasury and the Federal Reserve. This gave the wealthy the power to get into the pockets of the taxpayers on a permanent basis. Okay. Now, I don't know if a lot of people understand that, but you hear a lot of people complain about like Amazon and Trump and all them don't pay. You know, you hear like Elizabeth Warren said, they must pay their fair share of taxes. Well, right there tells you why they don't, because the tax laws permit them not to. Okay? So until these change, would you pay your so-called fair share of the taxes out there, people? No, you wouldn't, because the tax laws allow you to do what they do. It may not sound right, but it is what it is. Okay?
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah, that's why I keep saying don't hate the player, hate the game, or learn the game. Okay? The Federal Reserve System. How many people know what the Federal Reserve is? Do you know what the Federal Reserve is? Ken, are you familiar with it?
Yeah,
you know.
Okay. I'm familiar with it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Federal Reserve gives the politician to borrow money rather than raise taxes. Debt can be like a double-edged sword. The results are either higher taxes or inflation. The U.S. government creates money rather than raising taxes by selling U.S. bonds, IOUs from taxes or the taxpayer of this country. That eventually they have to be paid for with higher taxes or by printing money, which creates inflation. Now, remember when I said that you heard from like Lindsey Graham and all them talking about, well, we won't be taxed on our income tax again for that stimulus thing? Well, right here, okay, they're going to have to get that money back some way, and it's going to be through raising taxes, folks. That's how they're going to do this. I don't give a shit what they tell you, and you're going to get taxed, and they may do it both. They'll find a way to get that money back, but their cronies are going to get, because where they and how they make money, they're not going to get taxed on it. It's unfair, but that's the game that's set up. Understanding inflation, Federal Reserve and the Treasury causes this by printing money. What did I mean by printing money? Well, there's a lot of ways that people print money. Yes, they do that using a printing press, okay? Understand that in 71, we were taken off the gold standard by Nixon. So
right.
all we really got is fiat money. It's not backed by anything. See, before our money was backed by gold, okay? When they took us off of that, and they took us off of that twice from my understanding, okay? Printing money or borrowing it to pay government debts. Why this is with inflation called the silent tax. So when you got inflation and all that stuff, and you wonder why all this stuff is going on, and you don't even see it going up, that's why they call it silent tax. You don't see it here hit until it does. Inflation makes the wealthier and makes the cost of living more expensive for those for the poor or the middle class. This is because those who print money receive the most benefits there. They receive the most benefit. They're able to purchase goods and services that they want with the new money before it dilutes its existing money pool. So what they're saying by printing money, you ever hear, what's his name? Brian Finale. He's talking about, in some of his things, he's talking about you can literally print your money. See, printing money doesn't necessarily mean from a printing press. Printing money means creating your own economy through investments or business. This is why I talk about business ownership, so stress it so much, because this is how the wealthy think. Existing money pool, okay? They also reap benefits and none of the consequences while the poor and the middle class watch their money get stretched thinner and thinner. The biggest problem most people don't understand is that the wealthy do not work for money. Right? Get it clear, people. The wealthy do not work for money. The wealthy do not go out look for a job. The biggest mistake most of you guys people make when they work a job, as I try to tell a friend of mine, don't go get another job. Start a business. Today is the easiest thing to start an online business because you got tax shelters. Don't matter. It don't have to be brick and mortar. It don't have to be like Macy's. Even though Macy's is getting ready to go out of business, or all the Macy's are closed now because of this thing. Okay, all of them around the country. I just saw that. Okay. Here's a problem with retirement, people. In 1974, the U.S. Congress passed what they called ERISA Act. That means before, you remember how you go to back in the early days of the industrial revolution industry, told to come to work this many years, and company will take care of you through retirement. Well, in 74, they squashed all that stuff. They made the worker be responsible for their own retirement, and partially they put that money into the stock market. Now, go back to where I was talking about, into the stock market. Most of us don't know shit about the stock market because we weren't taught financial wherewithal, okay? Then they put your money in vehicles like 401ks, which generally have high fees. If your money is put in a 401k, you might need it for something. You can't take it out because the fees are so high. You got to leave it in there for a long time. And it's high risk, low return. And they allow Wall Street to control it over the country's retirement system of the people. So this is how most people get screwed by money because, for one, our educational system does not teach us how to deal with money. All it teaches us how to go to a job, work for money, and then what we do, we either consume or we pay bills. We're not taught to invest money, okay? And this is what my whole purpose of this talk about the $1,200 check. Y'all need to learn how to invest some money, okay? Here are a few online apps. A lot of y'all carry cell phones to start out with investing that $1,200. You can look at three of the top ones that I've known from my research, and I've been in two of them. I've gone in two of them. Acorn, Stash, and Robinhood. Okay, I'm currently with Acorn and Robinhood. You gotta learn to invest, people. See, when you spend that $1,200, it's gone. consumer is gone. You need to learn how to make that money work for you, because as I've been saying, you know, most of us, you know, we are in unfamiliar times now, in some ways worse than 9/11, which we have surpassed in deaths in this pandemic that has affected everyone. Has nothing to do with race, politics, a political affiliation, religion, age, gender, faith, none of these things. Though brown communities are getting hit on disproportionately because in those communities, they were struggling anyway. This was just another thing to add on to the stress, which is causing more and faster mortality rates within these ethnic groups, the more rates than other ethnic groups. So granted, black and brown communities were already struggling, okay? And now to have to deal with this on top of it, yeah. But the biggest problem with everybody, and especially brown and black communities, the lack of education, what to do. We're the biggest consumers. Remember that book they had in a business called Prosumer?
Yes.
Okay.
Still got that book.
Yeah, I still got that book too. It's a good book. Okay. Here's what we got to understand. The whole purpose was merely here to educate and give some history on who you may not know. You may not see this now, but more opportunity and wealth were created at these times. And with technology, make even more possible. Out of 9/11 in 2008, financial crisis innovation came out of these situations. Did you know out of these situations, Uber, Airbnb, and Lyft came out of the 2008 crisis and the 9/11 thing? Okay, a lot of us, we get caught up in the thing and saying, oh, poor is me. I mean, yeah, you do, I understand, but it is a big crisis. This is probably the biggest crisis more than
Did you freeze?
9/11.
Okay.
Huh?
You froze for a second. I thought I lost.
I said, it's probably more bigger of a crisis than 9/11 because at least we could see what was happening with 9/11. We can't see. I know then again, it says unstable connection. What will come out of this situation, some things are already, and some business have switched their product line to serve the market. That all businesses is about, and it's easier at any time in our lifetime. Last decade, I saw the creation of many software, and that's true. Remember, Paul Zane Pilzer talked about that in The Next Millionaire. He said that from 2010 to 2020 was going to be creation of software and different things. What was that? Lot of different. Well, take for instance where we're on now, Zoom. Zoom was created in that damn time period. Go to meetings and all those other type of things were created during that time period. All these video conferencing things came out of there. Okay, so every decade when it seems like there's some kind of something going on, the people who can see to take advantage of it do. And I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but I'm trying to educate you to see what is possible out there. So we just came off a 5-day challenge and they're struggling through this educational system that me and Kent belong to, teaching people how to use Facebook to make money on, okay? They're starting another one of these on April 30th, running through April 30th, May 4th. Down here at this link, success2013.mlsplive.org. And this thing is only cost you $1. I mean, you know, now out of $1,200, if you can't invest $1, I don't know what to tell you, okay? I don't know what to tell you. And this is all that we need to understand, that people spending the money just to be spending on clothes, jewelry. Now I know if you got to spend the money on food for your kids or whatever, because you know food banks are dwindling. What Smith? What was that meat packing place? Smith Smith something. They just I think they shut down their production because they had a lot of
A lot of
people
people
that
had
were
to quit them.
diagnosed
Yeah.
with the COVID. Yeah, I understand. There's a lot of stuff, but you know, for those if you can, if you invested even $10 a month over the next year, that's better than a savings, people. Okay, that's better than a savings for the simple fact you don't get no money back in the banks on a savings account. In fact, I don't know if a lot of you guys understand this, but the banks use your money to give out loans to other people. And they would charge them a 30% rate where they won't even give you a dollar. Okay? This is why financial wherewithal, financial education is so important, especially in Black and brown communities, because we're the ones to get hit when shit like this happens the hardest. Because we're not taught any of that stuff in school. I went to school, but they didn't teach me all this stuff about what money, how money was, or how they did and what they're doing and why this. They use money against the working class and basically to enslave them. You know, we talk about how, okay, Black people, we out of slavery, but a lot of ways what they did, they just took our ankles and put them up here. In a lot of ways, in a lot of instances, they've done that with a lot of different things. And they've really done this with the whole working class, the 1%, you know. And it must be, you know, you hear people talk about the Illuminati and all that other stuff. I don't know if a lot of you understand that the Federal Reserve is not even an American entity. It's not even a bank. Did you know that, Kent?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. I don't know if
Yeah.
the people out here who are watching know this. It's not even a bank. Okay. If any of you ever heard of the Rothschilds, okay, Amsel Rothschild made this statement. He said, I care not what laws you make as long as I can control the money. Okay.
Pretty much. Oh yeah.
And that's where we're in today. When you got this administration giving his cohorts $1.7 million and they pacify the working class with $1,200, people. That's why you got to learn to take that money and understand you can't sit at the table. You can't play the game of the wealthy unless you learn or willing to get in the game to play that. You can't play the game of the wealthy by constantly doing the same thing you do, working a job all the time. I'm not telling you not to work a job, but look what's happening in our society now. And this is what, and they made this statement on Joey Reid today, and it said the reason why Black and brown people are being mostly affected is not so much always underlying health reasons, okay? Even though that's one of the reasons, it's because most Black and brown people work in these they call essential jobs, restaurant, community, you know, like bus driver, train, fire people. Okay, those jobs you're mostly out there exposed to every damn thing in the world, and this is why Black and brown communities are most affected because they get affected. They may be asymptomatic, and they come back home and affect their whole family. This is why you need to talk about, okay, this ain't going to be the last time we're in a pandemic. This is the first one that we've had like this in over 100 years. The other one was in 1918, people. This is 2020. That's 102 years. Something to think about though, okay? We don't know. Think about this, people. This is for those of you. Let's see who's on here. Oh, I got some on there. This is for those of you who are fortunate enough to work from home, but don't sit on your laurels about working from home, because you can get fired or you can get laid off just by from working from home, because you still working a job for somebody else. Okay. Macy's, it was already laying off people before this happens. They start laying off people in 2018. I would not be surprised if Macy's don't come back. They just shut the hell down. What I think Macy's is probably going to do, from my readings I saw, they have an entity online. The same thing that happened with the Limited. Limited shut all their stuff down. All the mortar stores went totally online. Remember Circuit City? Circuit City shut all their brick and mortar stores and went online. This is what I don't understand. The last 10 to 15 years, Christmas time, more and more income, revenue has been generated online than those brick and mortar stores. So my question to the government, my question to people is, why is our economy faltering that way when we got this technology? People trade still online. I know a friend, Tracy Walker, in Atlanta, teaches Forex, and they use trade online. Okay. It's like, I use the scenario. I don't know if anybody's been in a situation, you lose power in your house. Some people have generators, okay? When you lose the power in your house, that generator kicks in. The economy should be the same way. When the first way of making money that we used to gets halted or disrupted, this technology should kick in automatically, be able for people to still maintain the economy, their economy. But you gotta be willing to do that. It's partly some of our fault, and it's partly the government's fault. But I won't say that, because government's not your friend. Let me put it that way. And I might get some flack for this, but I'm not really a big favor of either party now. Once you start getting educated about certain things, we already know what the GOP is about, okay? We already know about that. They don't care if you're out in the street, cold, hungry, whatever, okay? That's their agenda. They use the white wing Christians. They don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about nobody, especially when it's an economic thing. My problem with the Democrats is that they don't, we hear all these people talking about progressive bullshit. Ain't none of them really that progressive. I hear they're now telling Biden that he has to promote a VP black woman as his running mate. Don't get caught up in that shit, people. Right now, that'd be fine. Right now, you need somebody qualified to kick the food that's in there now out. Personally, I don't give a shit if it's Tony the Tiger. So I'm not getting into this damn thing about whether it's a female or black female right now. Right now, we don't have the luxury to be that way about what's happening in our society, because we're in a crisis, and the man that's in the White House now is a big security threat to everybody's salvation here in the U.S. If you really understand that, let's quit arguing about all this shit, because we don't have the luxury. This is not the election 10 years ago with Barack Obama or anybody, or even 2016. It's not the same election. We don't have that kind of luxury to be sitting up here talking about, well, he has to have Stacey Abrams. No, he don't. Okay? You're real critical about Kamala Harris, and I think in reality she's more qualified than Stacey Abrams. But too many of the black community got to burr up their ass about who she prosecuted black men in San Francisco. Well, I'm gonna say this because some of them probably need to be prosecuted. And a lot of y'all probably don't like it because she married a white man. That's her business. This ain't about all that. This is about who's going to defeat the administration that's in there now. Okay, we don't have the luxury of all that craziness right now. We're at a situation we're dealing with the pandemic. Now we got to deal with this food, get him out or whatever. But black and brown communities, you got to take care of your own economy because it's not about Democrat and Republican. It's about the communities, John. And as I said about this too, I got tired of, and I know people gonna probably jump off of here because of what I'm saying. But what do I do for black people? What do black people do for black people? Okay? What do black people do for black people? What we gotta understand is that the election's about money. And Dr. Claude Anderson talks about voting in a block and why the gay marriage thing passed, because they paid for it. The gay community controls a lot of economics, contrary to what y'all might want to say. San Francisco, highest gay community in the country, next to Columbus, Ohio. That's why they got their things passed, is what they bought. They'll take your vote, black community, brown community, but if you're not putting any economics into that enough to make it worth their while, yeah, they're gonna say, fuck you. They'll take your vote. Understand the game. Don't hate the players. This is why I said, when we were talking about the history about the Federal Reserve and all this stuff about money, that's the game of economics, people. And if you don't learn to play that game and be competitive, you're gonna always be ass out. You're gonna always struggle. And you're gonna always get hurt, struggling more when shit like this happens. You don't get mad at me. I'm just a messenger. Okay? I'm just a messenger about the information. It took me a long time to understand and learn this too. But you can't, it's like the Matrix. You can't go back to La La Land once you know the truth. Once you wake up to the truth, fuck La La Land, because La La Land don't do you any good. I wish I quit freezing up. Okay.
But you're right. But and we've talked about this offline before.
Yeah.
How economic power begets political power. You got to have the economic muscle behind it.
Economics. I remember my mom said, my dad, 50s, he got out of Korea, went to Ohio State, was majoring in economics. They never seen a black guy major in economics. They were kind of shocked. Black or brown person majoring in economics first. That's what are you majoring in? Economics. They looked at him, they said they looked at him like he was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to deal with the games and politics, you better know something about economics. Even in business, even in network marketing, you better know something about economics because you can't do no business without it. You can know all the lead gen, you can learn all the patting on the back, all that stuff, conversions. If you don't know nothing how to use your money, all that don't mean shit. Okay? I don't care what upline and all that other stuff tells you. If you don't know those type of things in there, you'll lose your money. It's not how much money you have, people, it's what you can keep. Okay? Just like I said, it's not how many leads you have, how many followers you have. It's the quality of the people that you're working with. We get caught up on the big numbers instead of the quality of those numbers. Okay? And they don't have to be big on Facebook. If you spread out all your marketing around different entities, they all add up to your audience. But we so focused on one platform on how many leads and people want to judge you based off of that. That's BS, people. That's BS. And there's too many people that I thought that were so much leaders, they still teaching all that mess. And I sat back and had to figure this out. Said, that's bullshit. I don't have to have 130,000 followers on Facebook to have an audience. You ain't gonna work with all them people. So why does it matter so much to so many of y'all out there that I'm talking to, that y'all have to understand the game is not quantity, it's quality. You know? So I hope you understand that. I hope you got value with this presentation tonight. Even though we're having some little bit of glitch stuff going on tonight, because I'm freezing up. I can see that right now. And I don't ever have big audience on my Facebook Lives, but the ones that I do have on there, they're usually quality. And that's all I care about. See, I only care about the people who understand, who are attracted to what I'm saying, who get what I'm saying. I don't care for those who don't, who just want to be tire kickers, or who are just sitting back and, I'm only going to react to the people who may give some engagement, some thumbs up, or whatever. Okay. For those who don't, that's on you. For those who don't get what I'm saying on these Facebook Lives that I've been doing since 2016, Sunset Sundays, that's fine. That's awesome. That's we don't, I don't need everybody in business. I only need quality people. And I always tell that. Remember, I always said, you don't need everybody in your business. You just need the right people in your business. And too many of y'all begging and sniffing, and people don't want to join nobody who's begging all the time. Most people only want something when you take it away from them. When you just kind of, I don't need you. I need certain, I like certain types of people. That's just like women. Women don't want to be bothered with you sniffing around them all the time. Why do you think women like them guys? Women chase the bad guys and then complain about it. The good guys, you too nice to some women. They ain't interested. All the damn game, folks. I don't care what degree of all this stuff, from high school to college to economics to the boardroom to everything. It's all the fucking game. And in some instances, we have to learn to play certain things. You ain't gonna play all the games. I don't play all the games. I get out of the sandbox so I don't want to be bothered. That's just me. I ain't telling you what to do, but that's just me. But you gotta have some sort of, if you want to survive in today's, we live in a capitalistic society that's a republic. It's not a democracy, okay? I don't give a shit what the Democrats tell you. This is a republic, it ain't a democracy. Ain't nothing real democratic about it. It's a republic, folks. That's why they're not teaching most of y'all Democrats about financial wherewithal. That's why they're always trying to get you to go back to working a job. Back in the time before the industrial age, we didn't have jobs. People worked farm. There was a farm, they called it the farming age. Things were traded through that entity. It was until the 20th turn, the beginning of the 20th century, that we had the quote on jobs, the industry, when they start making the big cities and the big cities and stuff. But they don't teach you that in school. So if you like what I had to say tonight, share it out. If you don't, that's fine. No, ain't no big deal. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna keep doing me. And like I said, if you like what you hear, share it out. If you didn't, that's fine. You got any last thoughts, comments, things to say, Kent?
I hope you all did get value from this topic tonight. I was telling Greg before we came on, with the stimulus and what I did with mine. Some of it went to pay bills, but yes, some of it I put back and invest in my business. And if for nothing else, the whatever you, now most I'm sure most folks know this, but just in case you don't, for anything that you get for your business, even if you're working a job and you're getting something work related, keep those receipts, keep those records, write them off on your taxes.
Yeah, tax write-off, people.
Yep.
This is what Amazon and all the wealthy do. They use the tax shelters that are put in place. Have been over there in 40 years. Ain't nothing wrong. And that's why I said I had a problem when I hear Elizabeth Warren talking, we're gonna make the rich pay their fair share. How you gonna make the rich pay their fair share and they're the ones that are the owners of the Treasury and in the Federal Reserve? Huh? How you gonna do that? Nobody's asked that question. Okay? With that thought, as I always said at the end of my presentations on Sunset Sunday, we're in stressful times right now, but don't let these stressful times put you in an early grave. There's a lot of people who have passed on, not just because I just found out my cousin Greg, his sister just passed this weekend or last week. The funeral was Wednesday up in Akron. He lost his sister last year around this time. Don't let these things happen. You know, I always say the heart attack rate goes up between now and tomorrow morning or Monday morning. But a lot of y'all working from home, but still, I think the heart attack rate is going to go up tenfold because of the situation we're on, the economics, the stress, people not knowing what's going to happen to their jobs, or if they're going to have a job, or they got to work these jobs that's putting them in harm's way, bringing back this disease, this virus back to their family. You know, they also thinking that this disease actually escaped from a Wuhan laboratory accidentally. I never bought the story that was transferred through some animals. What they think that's happened is that somebody got infected and brought the virus into that wet market. See, I'm gonna give you another education. Wet markets in China have been around longer than America's been around. Okay? China got a 10,000-year-old history. America only been here 240 something years. Okay? And America ain't gonna go fuck with China. I don't give a shit what China did. China got a 1 million-man army. I don't give a damn what America thinks. You ain't gonna win that war. That's a big ass terrain. And then you're gonna end up fucking with Russia. You don't wanna get in that war. You're not gonna do nothing physically like that unless you wanted to nuke it and then take us all the hell out of here. So what you need to do, I think that's what they're doing, is investigating the situation, find out what's going on. But if this administration had not disbanded the pandemic assembly that they had over there, they could have contained this thing better. If he'd have read his alerts in November, and the media keeps talking about January and February, damn that. This shit was known back then around the holidays. And the media keeps sprouting off all this bullshit about January and February, people. I was known before then. Stephanie Jackson, a Texas congresswoman, spouted that off a month and a half ago, said that they knew. Okay. I don't know what to tell you, folks. But these are troubled times, but there's opportunity if you don't let your emotions get the best of you. Sometimes my emotion get the best of me, but that's because of all the bullshit that happens, not so much of this crazy shit. Okay, but you got to think this is an economic game. All this is an economic game. Even in this bad time, it's still an economic game, and they're playing it to the hilt. And I bet you a lot of y'all going out there using your emotion. You spending up that whole $1,200 check, and then you're gonna get hit with a high tax on that. Like I said, don't believe what this government tell you. They're gonna tax your ass if you do that. They're gonna see how many people are making that money. Why do you think they do the census this year? What do you think the census is for? It's not to track how much revenue they're gonna give in one state. It's to track other things. Sometimes I think it's is set to do other things, maybe to take away. Okay, they're doing tracking methods. They don't have to do things with technology, but they probably do. But you gotta be aware of what's going on. It's not no conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theories usually come about from some truths. Okay, contrary to what you want to believe. Okay, so and I always, like I said, I always thought that this virus thing, they always messing with viruses. All they mess with viruses here in the United States. So they were fucking around with some virus over there in China and made a mistake. It got loose. Okay? Who's to say they weren't, people said that they were saying, well, somebody asked, was it a biochemical? Well, we don't know. I'm not gonna say yes or no, but no. What do you think when they're messing around with shit in the lab? Anthrax was a biochemical weapon. Okay? And they've used it to kill off people, the Russians. Use it in envelopes and stuff. So why is it so unheard of to use a virus as a biochemical weapon when they've used other things like that? Something to think about. All right, with that being said, I hope you got value. Share it out if you did. If you didn't, that's fine. What time is it? Almost 10 o'clock. That's all I got to say, man, with this. So, people, peace. Get off of here. Take care. We'll be back next Sunday with some other goodies. Hope we don't have all the technical issues. Huh?
I just said stay safe, everybody.
Yeah, people, stay safe. Don't keep your distance from folks. I went to Sam's Club and my mother the other day. I was keeping my distance away, and there's still people coming around. I said, "Bitch, get the hell away from me." I had my bandana around. We ordered some of those masks on Amazon.
Okay.
You can get a packet of those. So they're already shipped. So we don't know what we don't know how long.
I've been using my do-rag, so maybe.
Well, yeah, you could. I thought about that too. I got one of those. You put on your head there. But I just said I got a lot of bandanas, so I just use one of them. Use something to cover your face, people. It's not so much of you. It's you protecting other people because spit particles and whatever could come out. Okay, asymptomatic people can harm people who have underlying conditions. That's why all this is called for. All this is necessary. That's why they're calling it a stay from home thing. And you got these people that are doing all this protesting. I'm gonna say this and get off. I wouldn't be surprised if they call martial law. Because all they're doing is causing more problems. Talking about open up the U.S. a little bit here and there, May 1st. If this type of stuff that keeps going on, keeps coming out, we better be looking for martial law. If you have any time you've seen them movies about the zombies, now think about this. Everybody ever seen that movie World War Z? There's some truth in that. Think about this. If they decide to call martial law, they're not going to check out to see if you asymptomatic or infected. You gathering like that in a place, they're going to take you out. If you are violating the stay at home or distance away, whatever thing they want to call it, they will take you out. They will fly Huey helicopters and eliminate you because it's to eliminate a few to save the more. I'm trying to scare people, but let's be critical. I'm just not about bullshit. This is a serious thing. It's not to fuck with. President or Dictator Duarte of Philippines said anybody that violates that curfew over there, they will be shot on sight. They already did this mass grave thing in New York, people, because they overloaded the morgues. Okay? Personally, they should have probably cremated it. Because what they're doing right now you can't bury people that much in a mass grave. It's going to have to be deep. That could be part of a spread too. The only way to get rid of some of that is to burn it. That sounds kind of morbid, but it's the truth. They're talking about how I saw this on Facebook, how they're talking about viruses can be destroyed by UV light. They mentioned some about that today. If UV light can destroy all kind of viruses, my question though is, why is it spreading so much in Florida when that's supposed to be the sunshine state also? Okay. If it destroys in UV light, why does it replicate? It's supposed to in the wintertime, like flu. If we don't have a high incidence of the flu in the wintertime, the summertime, why do we always got another strain of it? If UV light does that, is it because certain places don't get enough UV light? Or is it because we've had so much pollution in the last 30 years in this country, sun's not getting down here enough to do the job to do that? That's something to think about. I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but I'm just going by what I've read and seen. That being said, peace, people. Take care. We'll see you in the next video. I'm out. Later.